There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Ooh, what's up? Welcome into episode number 68 of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Ryan Tyson, Mark Hall, Matt Gann, Patrick Hertzberger. Today is Thursday, April 27th. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Trying to hit 1,500 subs. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Not hard. If you're watching on YouTube right now,
we're so close, guys.
I know. There's
freaking
so
subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. It costs you zero.
Painful.
It costs you $0 to subscribe. If you're watching the show right now, there's a high likely probability, like a 90% chance, you are not subscribed to the channel. Please subscribe. It helps us out more than helps us out more than you know. You can follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z, our Instagram Program Guys with a Z, our Facebook page Program Guys Podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, that's where you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff. We welcome back Ryan Tyson. Back to the show. All five guys back together for the first time in three episodes. 5 episodes? Is it? I don't know.
A long time.
It's been a while.
All five guys.
All five guys.
Yeah, three or four.
It's been a hot minute since everybody's been back together. It's glad. Ryan, how you doing, brother?
I'm great.
Awesome.
How are y'all?
Doing great.
I've missed you guys.
Doing great.
I listened to last week's pod. It was incredible. So
thank you
great
so
job.
much. Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate
And
it.
don't worry, I do have
last week's pod.
I do have, when you guys were joking about me having 6 must-watches, and one of them would be foreign, or no, multiple would be foreign. But
I got news for you. I don't know what part you thought was a joke.
Yeah,
no, it's not a joke because I'm about to say I have those ready to go whenever you want them because Europe is a very long flight. So I knocked out some TV.
Okay.
I'm sure
I'm
everyone else
ready
on
to
your
go.
flights were like, "What is he watching?"
I'm sure they were. I'm sure they were.
All right, let's go ahead and dive into this because we got a lot of stuff to cover today. It's crazy that we're in a late April pod and we got just tons of stuff to cover right now. We're going to be talking a little bit of NFL draft later. We got some NBA talk, some MVPs as well. We got a bunch of recruiting news to get to, as well as some commitments. And then Ryan is also going to give us a must watch, and we got to circle the wagon. So a lot of stuff to get to today. But first, I want to start with some spring game recap. We tried to get together on Sunday, try to give you guys a post game pod. Just didn't work out for the boys. Sometimes when 5 guys have a lot of other stuff going on in life, it just doesn't work out. But we're here for you now. I want to first get the vibes from Mark. Mark was in attendance at the game. 54,000, I apologize. 54,409, sixth highest attendance in the nation. What were the vibes like inside of the stadium, Mark?
It was gray and windy and cold. And you saw people filing out shortly after kick because of that.
Wow.
And you can't really blame anyone. It's just like you're up there having a bad time watching a scrimmage.
Yeah.
And just sticking to the vibes. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have music and stuff playing. There's no PA announcer to get you hyped up. They're just playing ball down there. So if you like watching them play ball like I do, then, you're still having some kind of enjoyment out of it, but it was not a pretty day in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan or Mark went with a few other program guys, fans of the pod, brothers. It was cool to see you get to spend time with them. Let's go through a little bit of what the spring game was in and of itself. Okay, we'll start with Dillon Gabriel, 12 of 18, 139 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Jackson Arnold, the quarterback that was promised, 6 of 14, 64 yards and a tutty, 2 runs for 4 yards. We'll start with just a little bit of the quarterback play because that's what people are going to turn to the most. Ryan, what'd you see out of the quarterbacks right there?
Yeah, it's kind of tough because I feel like it's hard to talk about the quarterback play without talking about the offensive line play. Because the offensive line I felt like was atrociously bad. And I don't know how much of that is like our defense is good versus our offensive line is bad. We were very injured on that that side of the ball. So I felt like both quarterbacks did like what they could with like what they had. I'm still extremely worried about Dillon Gabriel overthrowing people. And I we saw that a couple times. He went 12 for 18. He played okay, but I feel like he did not play like amazing. And he feels like, to me, there is a ceiling with him, and we are hitting that ceiling, and we have been kind of at that ceiling for a while. And like, that's kind of what I saw out of him. I didn't see the flashes of like massive improvement from last year that I was hoping to see. Again, it's a spring game. There's a lot of time left before we start. Jackson Arnold, I thought he looked like a freshman. He looked like somebody who was learning the ropes, figuring things out. But man, when he has those flashes of just like raw talent that we see, like that throw that he had for that touchdown to, who was it? It was
Gavin.
Yeah, Gavin. It was incredible. I mean, that was the best throw I've seen in 2 years from a OU quarterback since Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
And like, he has so much potential. So when I talk about kind of the ceiling on DG, I feel like Jackson Arnold's ceiling is so much higher. And I don't know what's going to come from this. I have a thought on it that I'm going to say for a little bit later in the pod, but that's like my overall QB thoughts.
Matt, anything to add on the quarterback or the overall attendance at the spring game?
Not really. I hope the unveiling of the statue was pretty cool. I don't know, Mark, if you were able to go there before the game, but it's really good. I do like. Hey, none of us are. We did call what the statue is going to look like. So glad we got to see a throwing motion. Maybe not the one that we typically would have seen or what we've seen before, but that's always really cool. But speaking of the quarterbacks, I mean, I was unimpressed. I think we know what DG is going to be from a standpoint what we saw last year. How much more of a jump can he make from last year to this year? I guess we'll see, especially with the offensive line, potentially up in the air, as well as the wide receiver core. I mean, Jaden Gibson has some pretty bad drops as well. So who's going to be able to step up with Farouk? They got a lot of question marks on the offensive end. Dylan Gabriel is not the only guy. And I agree with Jackson Arnold. I think he had the adrenaline pumping first time, a lot of expectations on his shoulder, but as long as DG can play through the season and hopefully give JA some time, I think that's what he'll need to develop and be fully encompassed into the offense itself. So not really sure if I was impressed or not. I was just kind of like, for the most part.
Pat?
Yeah, with DG, I think the problems we saw with him are still the problems that he has. Nothing's really changed there, in my opinion. Jackson Arnold, I just loved that run that he had. I know it was like a 4-yard run. BB called it back, but that run he is a big dual threat guy who can break through tackles. I think, we'll see. They just touched him, but I have a great feeling about him being a great dual threat quarterback. And the pass to Gavin Freeman at the end, I think it was like a 36-yard pass or so. And he didn't even really lean into it. It was kind of from a planted foot.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. And so, he's got that arm strength too. Really excited to see.
Mark?
Yeah, I'll round this out. I thought that Dylan Gabriel looked like Dylan Gabriel of old. We're not seeing anything new, anything special with him. I don't think that he looks improved. He looks like the same guy. Maybe he's just already optimized within the offense. That's what it looked like. But at the same time, spring game, we're throwing vanilla stuff out there. So kind of whatever on Dylan Gabriel. Nothing has changed for me on Dylan Gabriel. Jackson Arnold, I was a little disappointed by, and I think it was more because I had built up this hope in my head that he would be the rare freshman that would be able to transcend the learning curve. And it's just not there yet. Being there in person, the thing that I thought immediately was the game is still just too fast for him at this level. He's getting the ball, and you know how on almost all of our pass dropbacks, there's a little mesh. Whether we're actually doing a full play action or not, there's just a little like running back, ride the ball kind of thing. By the time he's getting the ball out of the mesh, all he does is gun it for that first read. And I saw that 2 or 3 times. Every single time it resulted in either a pass breakup at the guy or knocked down at the line of scrimmage. And to Ryan's point earlier, some of that is on the offensive line. You could definitely tell that this was a hodgepodge group not made up of people they expect to be starters in the end at their desired positions. Biggest thing for me out of the quarterbacks was the Jackson Arnold thing. He's not ready. He's firmly not ready. The arm is sick. He's very fast. He's still not ready. So Dylan Gabriel, let's get it.
Yeah, I get it. And
Well,
and
that
to Ryan
sucks.
to Ryan's point, I agree with what Ryan said. We know what Dylan is. He's not a ceiling raiser. He's not, but I think he's a serviceably good quarterback. I think you're going to be okay with Dylan. Is he going to eye pop and wow you? Absolutely not. We know accuracy is his issue. Like it has been. It sucks that it wasn't solved in an offseason, I guess, but it's his fourth year in college football now or so. Fourth or fifth, whichever one it is. I don't know. Like maybe he's just not an accurate quarterback. Maybe he's not. So you have to adjust for that. And as long as we have our expectations lowered going into this season to know that he's not going to be him, we'll be okay. I think a serviceable Dylan Gabriel still gets this team to where it needs to be, because I think the overall product is better, in my opinion. That's just where I'm at with that. Some notable recruits in attendance. David Stone.
Hey, can I make a couple more points about like the performance of the game before we get into recruits? It's just two players stood out to me that I wanted to mention specifically among, like the defense obviously looked better than the offense. That's easy, right? But Peyton Bowen, that dude's going to start. He's in on every play. He made that interception. He's everywhere on the defense. They know how they're going to use him, and it's going to be all over the field. That was very encouraging to see. Second one is Deshaun McCullough. That dude is in on every tackle when he's playing the run, and it was very cool to see him just fit the edge exactly how he needed to. Both of those guys are going to be instant impact starters, I think. So just that real fast.
Yeah.
Two guys.
What made me afraid about that Bowen interception, it was our quarterback throwing to our fastest deep threat wide receiver. And Peyton Bowen was able to intercept it. And it just doesn't give me a lot of faith in our offense if that's like the duo and a freshman's intercepting it. Like, no, all credit to Peyton Bowen. Like, he's incredible, but he still is a freshman. We're probably going to go up against better. So that was scary. Second thing, when I saw PJ, I was like,
he's a maniac.
So no, I was, it was like a camera shot. They weren't playing yet. I was like, he's kind of small. Like, hear me out. I was like, he's kind of small. And then I looked him up, and he's huge. It's just that he's already grown into his body, and he doesn't look awkward at all. I think he's an impact guy too.
His frame is like unbelievable. You're
gonna find that he hasn't grown into that body.
No, he hasn't.
I don't know.
No, he hasn't. He definitely hasn't.
Okay.
He can definitely.
He's gonna eat 9,000 calories a day for
the
next 2 years, and then he will grow into that body.
Derek LeBlanc is the guy who definitely still needs to grow into his body, in my opinion.
Sure. I can support that. Matt, anything?
I think the defensive line. Yeah, I think the defensive line really looked good. A lot of pressure on both quarterbacks all game. Again, I'm not sure if that's a play on the offensive line not being all together, or the defensive line maybe hopefully can be a much more improvement, because that's what we didn't get last year, was a lot of pressure just from the front three, front four guys. So hopefully we continue to see that. I also think other safety, Reggie Pearson, transferred from Texas Tech, also had a really good game in coverage, pretty much on every single play as well, with Sean McCullough, but also Peyton Bowen. So it's going to be quite the dynamic safety duo, because we saw Key Lawrence make, he was the guy coming in from Tennessee, but I think Reggie Pearson is going to be that guy this year, playing alongside with Peyton Bowen. So they're going to get a ton, if not all, the playing time this year for sure.
Key Lawrence, welcome to special teams.
I have a question for the group, just based on the performance. Are you more excited about our defense or more worried about our offense?
I'm not worried about the offense, because I know that Jeff Lebby can scheme with the best of them. So I think the offense will be okay. Will they be what we're used to? No, but you can be a top 10 offense and still be a very good team if your defense. We saw what these previous teams were capable of with the number one offense in the country and a defense with no pulse. Imagine still having a top 10 offense and having a defense with more than a capable pulse. Like, they'll be a good team. So
is what you saw, though, the top 10 offense?
Not right now, but like Mark said, they're running vanilla. They're running vanilla stuff.
Yeah.
You're not out there game planning for anybody. You know what I mean? You're not doing any of that stuff. And the offensive line is far from a finished product as well. Like, yeah, they didn't look good, but like Mark said, it's a hodgepodge group. We don't know what that group's going to look like. We don't know what it's going to look like when the injured guys come back. So again, I get where we're coming from, but that's my take.
That's kind of, I love this question, Ryan. This is such a fun question.
I
think, yeah, I'm way more excited about the defense, and the reason is Walter Rouse missing the game and Javonte Barnes missing the game. Those are the two big subtractions that I think when Walter Rouse comes in, takes that spot at left tackles, things will stabilize a little bit across the offensive line. They'll find the best three other guys plus a center and make it work from there. My personal opinion is McCade Matower is not long for the starting lineup, but we'll just see what happens there, right?
Bro, there were some people roasting that guy. There were people roasting that guy. Sorry, Mark.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You're right. And then Javonte Barnes, we saw more out of him last season than any of the guys that we saw last year that we have coming back. I wasn't particularly impressed with any of the running backs on Saturday. Again, another freshman, I hyped myself up for Caleb Hicks, and then not a ton of Caleb Hicks. Why'd we get so much Tawi Walker? Is that going to happen this year? What are we doing?
We got a ton of Tawi last year too.
We didn't have Barnes and we didn't have Major. So like,
but the guys that played didn't look great.
They didn't.
Right, but that's part of it. Is those guys are going to come back, and the offense will stabilize around that. And I'm excited about the defense. R. Mason Thomas looks awesome. Ethan Downs looks better than expected. He's taken the new talent coming in as a challenge and physically improved himself in a cool way. We've got linebacker depth now. We've got depth in the secondary. Super excited about the defense.
Pat.
I'm worried about the offense. I think there's a lot more question marks on pretty much all levels offensively, except for DG. Yeah, well, Patrick, we talked about this as we were watching the game.
Right.
Like, our vision from last year to this year has switched. Like, we were okay about the offense. Defense was suspect. Now it's flipped for the most part. I think defense will be okay under BB's system. But yeah, the offense has a lot of question marks on each level, except for DG, obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
personally, like, I guess I didn't answer this question and I'm the one who asked it, but I'm excited about the defense. I think that our offense might be bad this year, but I think that's okay in preparation for the SEC. Like, I think we really need to ramp up like where we're going in the next year or two. And I think we'll get there. Like, we're setting a foundation right now. I think if we are going to have a bad offensive year, this is the one that we can have. I don't necessarily saying we're going to have a bad offensive year.
We're still too talented. Unacceptable.
You're wrong.
Bad year.
You're wrong.
Everyone's like, no,
you're wrong.
Well, I'm saying, Ryan, respectfully.
Yeah.
You think you're a doomsday scenario guy, right? So like, OU being bad means they're outside of the top 5 in offense. And if there's a top 6 offense, you're like, no, that's bad. And I'm telling you, because I'm telling you a top 10 offense gets you to a conference title game easily.
Yeah. But like, think of our fan base, right? They're going to flip the freak out if we're not in like the top 5 of offense.
I get it.
If we're holding opponents,
well, the whole thing is just going to,
it won't matter.
If
the defense is rocking, then offense, as long as we're scoring.
No, the defense is going to be on the field too much, guys, because our offense is too fast. We're going to have the same problem as last year. There's going to be it's going to be shootouts because that's our offense. We don't play complementary football. We say it. We got to play more physical. We got to play more complementary football, and then we don't.
Defense was the worst in third down conversions last year. That's not going to happen this year. That's not going to happen.
Offense didn't do him any favors either, though, because the defense played more snaps than any defense in the Big 12.
Agreed, but the defense is going to be a lot better. So I think it'll outweigh what the offense will do.
It was a great question, Ryan. It was a great,
Hey,
It was a great
question.
question. Well,
Yeah,
and
I think
you
it's gonna
guys
be
that said
fun.
the offense thing, we're going to talk about the Sooners in the draft a little later on, and so many of them are guys on offense that have moved on.
Yeah.
Like we're replacing a lot of talent on that side of the ball.
Correct. You're
Yeah,
absolutely
and
right.
our offense wasn't. It was good last year, but it wasn't fantastic levels, right?
I mean, they were top five
not-
in yards, so I don't know what.
All right, we're gonna move through these recruits.
Let's move on.
We're gonna move through these recruits super quick because we have some bold predictions that I want to get to and spend some time on that. But some recruits in attendance, I'm just gonna list them off real quick. David Stone, one of them. Bryant Westco, that's a wide receiver. We got offensive lineman Casey Poe, defensive lineman Jonah Ajonye. I hope I said that right. Wide receiver Zion
Jay Jonah.
Jonah.
There's a
Thank
J
you.
in there too. Yeah.
Oh
Jay
God.
Jonah Jones, yeah.
My bad. Wide receiver Zion Kearney, defensive lineman Nigel Smith, running back Camden Durham.
Hayden.
Hey, God, what am I doing? Defensive end Logan Thomas. Those are some of the bigger names in attendance. Anybody stick out to you guys? We've already feel like we've talked David Stone to death. At some point, I feel like he's just
I
gotta,
think
like,
I
make
was
a decision.
no.
You
You
weren't
guys
there, you
talked
didn't-
about it last week, and I didn't
Yeah.
get to say anything.
Yeah.
That is just like Twitter and social media like is fake and doesn't matter. And just like I cannot keep up with that dude. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I think that everyone waiting on bated breath for a 17-year-old's decision is ridiculous, but here we are. And yeah, I don't that's my thoughts. It's a lot of noise.
On
The
the
only thing-
visit,
Go
on the
ahead,
visit,
Mike.
Nigel Smith posted a picture of himself, David Stone, Jay Jonah Ajonye, and Todd Bates. And they
Love it.
looked beautiful standing together.
Yeah.
They looked wonderful. Maybe it happens, guys. Maybe it
Maybe
does.
it does. Maybe it does. That'd be sick. That'd be super dope. Anybody else on the recruit front?
The only thing that I found interesting was Caden Durham after the spring game got crystal balled to LSU by someone. So I wonder if he just didn't have as
By
great of experience.
Wilfong,
but
right?
yeah, right.
Yeah. He got fonged.
Yeah.
He's a Louisiana guy.
Yeah.
That's always we're fighting uphill on that one from the jump.
You may strike out, doesn't mean you don't swing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's just it's just the way it
Exactly.
works. You know?
Exactly.
So-
Oh my God, Mason, the wedding ring. I just saw.
Oh yeah, bro. It's lit.
Wow.
It's super
Wow.
dope. I'm super lit.
Wow.
Sick, dude.
All right. Some shout out my wife. Let's go to bold predictions. This is a bold prediction segment for the boys. We gave out some postseason. So after the 2022 season ended, the bowl game ended. We gave you guys, the listeners, some record predictions for 2023, the 2023 version of the Sooners. We made these a few months ago, I should say. And I want to go over those, what we said right now. So we just saw the spring game. And I want to see how we all feel about what we picked. Ryan did not make a pick. He wasn't there for that episode. Gan set an over-under at 9.5 because he couldn't decide between 9 and 10 because why would he decide on something literally ever? Patrick, 8-4. That's what Patrick had. I had 10-2. Mark had 10-2. How are we still feeling? Patrick?
Yeah, I'm thinking still. Could we move on?
Okay, Matt.
Someone else? Thank you.
Matt, are you going to decide on 9 or 10?
Wow, that's a good one. So I was looking over the schedule today, and again, I just think there's 3 to 4 games during the season that OU can slip and falter. Texas, BYU at the end, or BYU before TCU coming home on a Friday night, as well as maybe Kansas. I know that's a little bit of a sleeper team, but their offense torched us last year. So Kansas, sleeper game, just look out for them. The Jayhawks are getting Jaden Daniels back. But yeah, there's 3 or 4 games on the schedule where I'm kind of like, man, I don't know. If we don't improve greatly, both on sides of the ball, I mean, we could easily lose those games. So I'm actually going to go. I'll go under. I'll say 9 and whatever.
9 and 3.
Yeah.
That's what you say. Mark?
Yep.
I think my headphones just lost
Okay,
connection.
I'll go.
Ryan,
Wait,
go
no,
ahead.
I got it. Okay, I got it. I got it. I don't know why that happened. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm sticking with 10-2. I think that the same 4 games that concerned me earlier in the season. That's at Cincinnati, that's Texas, that's at BYU, and then it's TCU coming back like Ryan or like Matt said on a short week. Those are the 4 games that give me concern, and I think we go at least 500 in those games. 10-2.
Yeah, I'm staying at 10-2 as well. No long spiel. That's just nothing has changed my mind. Patrick,
I'm going to stick with 8-4.
okay.
I
Ryan,
love it. You think we lose all those games?
he does.
No,
so,
3 of them, but then we drop a random.
okay.
So
Go ahead.
I'm 9-3 is my thought. The 3 I think we'll lose are at Cincinnati, at BYU, in Texas.
Okay. That's fair enough. Let us know down below in the comments if you're watching our YouTube channel if you made a prediction for 2023 Oklahoma Sooners. Their record, what would it be? Let us know down below in the comments. We read every single comment. Appreciate it as always, guys. Some post-spring game predictions now for the boys, okay? This is where we just watched spring
The
game.
bold ones.
We're going to make bold predictions. Now, I'm going to put this in the description. I'm talking bold here, okay? Like,
Wait,
This
remember
is-
Gans last year?
Yes.
What was-
yeah, Gans was some BS
Yo,
about.
didn't he end up not breaking 5-1 though in the end?
I think you're
Well,
right.
I
Because he just kept going picks.
I started 2-for-1, then I moved it to
Yeah.
5-1.
Yeah.
He was like 4.5, I think, when he ended
Yeah,
the
that's
year.
where I think he
Yeah.
like
landed.
something like just
It's
under 5.
So
I
great.
gotcha. All right, so bold predictions. I want to go ahead. Let's go ahead and we'll start with Matt Gant. Matt, your bold prediction for post spring game.
Yeah, maybe this will be a good segue for Mark, because the only way this happens is for the defense to lead in all statistical categories that matter. So tackles for losses, sacks, picks, turnovers, whatever is a defining characteristic, they will lead the Big 12 in all of those. And just to add on top, just to make it a little spicier, we're going to hold opponents under 20 points a game. 20
Okay.
points a game. You heard me. 20 points a game. Mark, tell us why.
I think that
no
all
time
of that
for
was a little
reaction.
more aggressive than mine is actually. There's a lot of statistics out there, you know. Anyway, my bold prediction is incoming transfer Jason McCullough will be the Big 12 newcomer of the year in 2023-24. The guy is a physical monster. Grant Venables is the most equipped man in college football to utilize Jason's skills, and we saw a taste of that in the spring game. He fits the defense like a glove. He is, I got to be the front runner for newcomer of the year right now, and I think he wins it in the end.
Okay,
I love that one.
I'm
I
gonna.
think it's a good one.
I'm still on the defensive side of the ball, so I'm gonna go and then we'll hit Patrick and Ryan. There's been one guy that I've been hypercritical of for the majority of this podcast,
Oh no.
and I'm here to tell you
Doing-
that Danny Stutzman is going to be a Butkus finalist this year.
Oh, no.
Didn't we do this
No.
last year?
Probably.
Didn't we do this last year?
Probably.
Take it back.
Probably. It's a bold prediction.
Oh,
I said we're going to be bold, folks. I said we're going to
He's
be bold.
gonna, man, you're just gonna be meaner about him now.
No,
Yeah.
I probably will be, honestly. If he starts screwing around again, I'm going to be really mad.
my
But yeah,
God.
I think what we saw in the spring game, we saw a Danny who is going to be a leader of this defense. I think he's the playmaker that they need him to be. He's just got to go out and do it, and I think he will. I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. Yeah, does he dick around on social media and stuff a little more than I'd like him to? Yeah, sure, but
Yeah.
like whatever. If you go out and you have 3 tackles for loss a game and a sack and pick off 5 passes a year, I'll shut the hell up. You do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? I won't care. It's exactly how I feel.
Can I
Yeah,
can
go
I-
ahead, Ryan.
Can I change my bold prediction to be that the first Mason rant of the new season is about Danny Stutzman?
That's not bold, though. That's not
That-
bold. That's just gonna happen.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I
That's
just yeah.
that's what's going to happen.
it's inevitable. It's like Thanos. It's inevitable. I will come for Danny Stutzman's throat. Whoa, pause. Okay, go ahead, Ryan, with your bold prediction. That's not about me.
Yeah. So we talked about the quarterbacks earlier. I think DG gets benched for Arnold this year.
Woo!
I don't necessarily know when it happens,
Woo-wee.
but I think that after what we saw last year with Dylan and how we were all multiple times, we were like, if we had a backup, how would this change things? How would we feel differently? And we have a backup now. Is he 100% ready? Not right now, but we got 4 or 5 months to get him there. And it was his first college game on Saturday. And yeah, he didn't look great, but the talent is there. You see it in flashes. And I am just really down on DG right now after what I saw. Just no improvement whatsoever. And that really worries me. And so I think that sometime this year it's going to happen. I don't know when, but
wow. Okay.
That's it said to be bold. So let's
you
be
did.
bold.
Hey, I think you followed it. Patrick?
I think the same. Mine builds off that. I think there will be 4 starting freshmen by the end of next season. 4.
Okay.
Who are they?
Who are they?
Well, we can talk about it. I think it's going to be J.A., Bowen, PJ, and then you throw in someone else. Could be Jaquaz
Messiah
Petaway.
Wagner.
Could
He
be
played really well in the spring game.
right.
Mhm.
Who are we missing? Yeah, LeBlanc maybe.
Hayden
We'll see.
Green.
Yeah, I think it's. I
Yeah, I think
running
Green's
running
gonna be
backs
there for
always get
sure.
injured. Caden Helms.
Running backs
Yeah.
get hurt. This is
Running
a
back
fun
get-
one. This is a fun one.
Yeah.
I honestly think it might be more than 4. I don't know though.
I'm glad you guys
Uh,
didn't think 4 was like weak though. Yeah, that's
No, I don't-
It is weak.
Yeah, I
It
think
is weak. Not bold enough.
That's
Not bold enough.
that's
I don't think it's
more than we had last year easily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
BB doesn't
I'm
like
trying
play
to think,
freshmen. We don't like
R.
we don't
Mason
like it.
Thomas is the only one that started last year. PJ is better than R. Mason was last year.
did we say Caden Green? Did we throw Caden Green's name?
I threw
there?
Caden Green
You
out
did?
there
Okay. I
earlier?
didn't
Yeah.
hear you. Didn't hear you.
There's someone named what is it like Jake Taylor? We have so many like J names.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I get them. Mixed
I
up.
think,
I
like-
like this one, Patrick.
Yeah. I think like Bowen and Green are like locks.
I think that's fair.
I think in my opinion, those are locks. And then I think you have like PJ, he's gonna get a lot of time. I don't know if he's starting though, is the thing.
Right.
I don't think he'll ever be listed as like a starter.
Yeah.
I think he may, if you check snap counts at the end of the year, he may be, at 51% while the starter's at 49, something like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
he's not called the starter, but that's down the road.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one, Pat.
Thank you.
It's good. Let us know down below in the
Didn't get the
comments if
chance
you
to
have bold
say.
predictions. Go ahead, Mark.
I was on board with Ryan's. I've been kind of workshopping the idea for a while, as longtime listeners can attest to. But what I saw on Saturday scared me off of that. vision.
Okay. Took
That's
you off the
fair.
trail.
That's fair.
Need to see some more improvement over the summer. That's all.
And I think I think that's interesting, Mark, because I think the opposite, I think the same thing, what I saw on Saturday from DG was
Mhm.
the thing that really took me over the edge. That was
Right.
oh, we have seen no improvement. So, and that's not great.
Yeah.
But anyway,
All right. Let's move on to a little bit of recruiting. So some transfer portals coming in. That's Hampton Fay. He's a tight end, 6'5", 240 pounds. Transfers in from Michigan State. Used to be a quarterback. 3-star
in high
quarterback.
school.
In
was a
high school?
quarterback.
Yeah.
Came
High
in, went to Michigan State as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Didn't get any snaps as a freshman. Moved to tight end. Didn't get any snaps as a tight end.
So he's come to OU. I guess they're just gonna fill up that room and see who comes out on top. Let them battle. to
he's
the death.
a big dude. So
Yeah.
we need more tight ends. So throw him in there. See what shakes.
Yeah.
It was
Good flyer.
Why not? Just see what happens. You know what
speaking
I mean?
of the spring game though, so good to see Stogner out there. The first catch he had was awesome.
Sogner's a unit, man. He's an impressive sized human. He is. He's quite large indeed. It was good to see Stogner back in Crimson and Cream. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It was nice. Another guy is Brennan Thompson, 5'10", 168 wide receiver from Texas. He was a 4-star in the 2022 class, 20th best receiver in the country in that class, 131st nationally, 21st best player in Texas when he came in. So all I see is 5'10", 168, and I say, I don't care how fast you are, you ain't big enough. People. I've seen OU fans on social media say, oh, like Hollywood Brown was, under 6 foot and whatever. I'm like, are we really going to bank on this guy becoming Hollywood Brown? Because that's a high bar to like wish for. I just don't think he's that guy. He may run hella fast, and that's fantastic. I hope he returns some kicks. But I think
someone said he's faster than like Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
So
like from a time perspective.
I pulled up the tweet. His 100-meter dash time is 10.18. That's his personal record on that. Jaquez Petaway runs a 10.41. Gavin Sawchuk ran a 10.62, and it's faster than any time that Tyreek Hill ever posted.
Yeah.
I think similar to adding the tight end, there's no downside to adding this guy to the room.
Right.
Mason's point, I think the biggest thing is just to temper expectations. We brought in 2 transfer receivers last year in LV Bunkley Shelton and JJ Hester, and neither of them really saw consistent snaps. So to come in and just assume that either Andrell Anthony or Brennan Thompson is just immediately going to be the guy is, I just think we need to temper that a little bit.
Yeah.
I do love that we got him from Texas.
Always.
Yeah, it's great.
I think I saw a tweet that this is like the first transfer from Texas to OU since like 1935 or something ridiculous. Like it does not happen. So
it doesn't happen.
Quite interesting.
Yeah.
I just think if he was a guy last year, we would have heard or like been able to see more highlights, heard about him. I'm excited. All good things, but we'll see. Jury's still out.
He was young last year.
Sure.
Like he was. So I think there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to make like a massive immediate impact, kind of like what Mark was saying. But if he comes in and he has 3 more years, 3 or 4 more years, like he's got time to develop. And I like this. I like this transfer a lot. So I'm pretty high on this. Maybe not this year, but I think it's like a good addition for like that room.
Matt?
Why not? No downside. Got elite speed. He only got 1 catch for 32 yards. That was against Oklahoma State. So there really just isn't a lot of film on him. So we'll see. But I'm drinking the Kool-Aid for Emmett Jones. Whatever he does, I'm a true believer. So if he thinks this guy can come in and possibly make an impact to a wide receiver room that we have still a lot of question marks of, why not?
What Todd Bates is to Mark Hall, Emmett Jones is to Matt Gann. That's what it sounds like.
Also, just one thing that I love about this year, we have gotten a transfer from both Texas and Oklahoma State. So love that for us.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Got to be the first time that's ever happened.
No, 100%. It's got to be. All right. Some commitments from the 2024 class. Jaden Hardy, 4-star safety, 6', 175 from Louisville, Texas. Chose OU over A&M, Tennessee, and others. Offensive tackle Isaiah Autry, 3-star, 6'6", 280. He's from Mississippi, Tupelo to be exact. Is that a commitment or a crystal ball? I can't even tell.
He committed.
Thank you. Yeah,
that looks like we copied a crystal ball, but that he did commit.
Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, so we'll start with the commitments. Anything on the commits? I mean, you got to be excited about Jaden Hardy. That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
I'm excited about both, man. If we're going after a safety, I expect it to be because they know he's gonna be someone who can develop, right? And Bill Bedenbaugh just keeps on going for these gigantic monster offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Okay? We're just gonna have a lineup of 6'8", 330-pound guys by the end of it. I love
which
it
we
so
like.
Much.
Like we need for the SEC.
Right.
Like
look at Georgia.
We
Look at Georgia.
Well,
Those dudes average
and-
315,
Yeah.
320.
Well,
Yeah.
he's at into Mark's point. Back when Arkansas had God, what's his freaking name? I can't even remember the head coach's name. I'm blanking. The dude, whatever, the fatter guy. I can't even remember his name. That offensive line. He's at Illinois now. God
Bielema.
bless. Thank you. Good Lord. Brett Bielema. Back when Brett Bielema was there, they had that offensive line that was bigger than every single offensive line in the NFL besides like one in terms of size. And like, if that's what Bill Bedenbaugh wants to build, hell yeah, because like 4 of those guys on that Arkansas offensive line got drafted and played significant snaps in the NFL. So yeah, get size. Size, you can't coach size. Like
Yeah.
you're either big enough or you're not. Like
I mean,
so,
like 280 as a junior in high school. Like
clutch.
we need to get him to like what 315 if we can
Mhm.
get there, like over 300 at least. But if we can get him to like 315,
Definitely over 300.
like
I think Hayden Green's the model, and he's like 6'5", 315, and he moves well at that size. That's the big thing. Is there's a lot of big people out there, but can you use that height or not height? Can you use that size and still be agile enough with it?
Yeah. Matt, Pat, anything to add?
There's just 2 guys I'm drinking the Kool-Aid for. It's Emmett Jones and it's Coach Valai. I don't think we give him enough credit for the
Fair.
safety positions
point.
and the guys that he's been recruiting. I think both of these guys are going to have a huge and will continue to have a pretty big impact on both those position groups. So I'm definitely drinking the Kool-Aid all day long for those 2.
I hate to do this, but Brandon Hall is actually the safeties coach. Jay Valai's the corners guy.
But Jay Valai still does great work.
Still does great work.
Team
Huge
Matt
shout
on
out to
that.
Jay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Pat.
No, you guys covered
it's
it.
like damn.
Okay. Some crystal ball news from the other recruiting insiders. 2024 running back Xavier Robinson, 3-star, 6'2", 225 from Carl Albert High School right here in Oklahoma. Michael Boganowski, I think I said it right. He's
I think he did.
He's an athlete, 6'2", 195, Junction City, Kansas. Would not surprise me if that guy ended up on a roster. All I saw was Junction City, Kansas, and that's all I need to know. Because if there's a kid from Kansas and Brent Venables offers him, he's going to go to OU. I think that's the way it's going to work out. Anything on those? The running back, I like the size, 6'2", 225.
Yeah.
Fun. That's fun.
That's
That's
fun.
fun.
That's fun.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Guys,
I'm
he has
about
a
that.
highlight. He has a highlight, and the opposing team did a squib kick, squib kick. So like he picks it up, and he ran through 7 people, 7 people on a kickoff return.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we're talking about
goodness.
Oklahoma football though, so let's calm down.
Sure, but still,
also, like
still
because
cool.
he's from
The grown
because he's
man.
from Oklahoma, we have to keep him. Like we
He's
have
still
to.
6'2", 225 in high school.
Hey, Patrick
Yeah.
wanted banter. I'm giving it to you guys. He's not good
Love
enough.
this.
Okay, I'm just kidding.
Matt, did you play high school football in Oklahoma?
Matt, are you
I played the other.
25?
I played the other football in Oklahoma.
You played the other
So I know.
football in Oklahoma.
But I know where Carl Albert is in the district they play in. Not good enough. Not good enough.
They're a 5A school that has
It's just
state
savage.
championships
5A
like
in
recent
Oklahoma?
ones.
Oh man, don't even get me started,
Hey,
Mason.
I
Come
mean,
on.
I'm
this
getting
guy-
you started. 'cause
So
you're
of
incorrect.
all the
even
coaches,
6'8".
so of all the
Not even 6'8".
coaches, Matt's gonna be like, yeah, give me Jay Valai for his work with the safeties, but I'm gonna discount DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
I never said that. I'm just saying, hey.
What are you
saying-
doing with this?
You're saying the
What are you doing
junior
with
in
this?
high school is not good enough.
Not good enough. Man. Norman
I
North.
think
The
Xavier
Wolves.
Robinson is going
The
to be one of
Wolves.
our greats. He's going to be one of our greats.
I love that, Pat.
I'm calling it now.
I
Spice
love
that.
it. I love it,
Based
Pat.
on
Hot-
based on a split kick
Hot
highlight.
take.
Based on
Based
one
I want it-
junior highlight.
I want it on the record. I want it on the
Xavier.
record. Matt thinks that Sam Bradford. He thinks that. Oh my God! I'm blanking on names. I can't
Yeah,
even.
Don't
fire
even
back.
don't even
I'm
do it.
blanking on
boys.
names.
Sam
Adrian?
Bradford. I don't know where it's going.
I don't know where it's going either.
We're talking
Mason's
about
getting all
Adrian
red.
Kate Humphrey. No.
No.
What am I saying? Creed. Jesus Christ! I can't even think of names.
There.
Creed Humphrey is another one.
Yeah.
Oklahoma high school football.
Oh, I see now.
Those
Yeah.
are Oklahoma high school football
Yeah.
players. That
Matt saying Sterling
Huge.
Shepard's high school exploits were not good enough to get him to Oklahoma.
Oh,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very few and far
Private
between.
school,
Very few and far
absolutely
between.
not.
Alex Ross played for Jinx and had like fucking sorry. I'll have to put an expletive on that. Had
Ruh-roh.
freaking
Excited about
5
Jinx.
kick returns on that. Yeah, that's a big ruh-roh. I think that's the first
Ruh-roh.
F-bomb dropped in our history.
No, I've
It's
dropped
crazy.
one before.
You have? Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and let's circle the wagons. Go ahead,
That's
Matt
right.
Gann. Let's get into it. A couple rainouts for the Oklahoma softball team this week, Matt.
That's right. But we do have some good Oklahoma programs to talk about. Let's start with both women's and men's tennis, who both competed in the Big 12 tourney this weekend in Kansas. Let's start with the women. They beat Baylor and Iowa State to advance to the championship against Texas, who has got their number. Beat them last year in the championship, got beaten in the regular season, and lost to the championship 4-2, but they do currently rank number 13th going into the NCAA regionals, which should be in the next few weeks. So good to see them continue from their historic season last year, but Texas has got their number for sure. Men's tennis also competed. They ended up getting to the second round. They also beat Baylor, but then also lost to Texas in the second round 4-2. So both the Longhorns on both sides of the ball here continue to have our numbers. So hopefully they can continue as they got both their regionals upcoming. Staying on the women's side, you're right, Mason. Softball has not played, but still overall their record 42-1 after their sweep of Baylor last week. They were supposed to play Wichita State, so not sure if that game will get rescheduled or what is going to be, but they do have a 3-game series against Kansas this weekend. If they are able to sweep or I think secure the series, they will be the regular season champs for the Big 12. So don't see any issues with that. They should easily beat Kansas, but hey, knock on wood, you never know. Looking at other sports as well, because not too many, a lot of them, at least the women's programs are already done for. So switching over to the men's side, OU's men's baseball improving to 22-19, finally getting a secured series win where they swept Texas. They were not a program that lost to Texas this past weekend. Pull out the brooms. They won 2-1, 9-6, and 6-4. That's a much needed Big 12 series win for the Oklahoma Sooners. The game before that, though, they did lose to Oklahoma State 19-8. So again, they just continue to have much of a roller coaster year. So hopefully they can catch fire like they did last year as well. They will play Oral Roberts in a 3-game series also against Kansas this upcoming weekend. Something that we haven't really talked about was OU's men's golf. I feel like they kind of play sporadically, but they did play in the Big 12 championship this weekend, winning their second or back-to-back title against all the other Big 12 programs. Guys, they won.
They dominated.
They
Amazing.
dominated. They won by 18 strokes.
That's
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, they were the only team under par at -1 for the whole weekend. TCU, who came in second, finished at +17 for the week. So that's how much
crazy.
of a margin it was that the Sooners and the golf coach continues to just churn out these guys year in and year out. So they broke
18
a 70
strokes is incredible.
Yeah,
It
over
was
4
really
days.
it was really bad weather too, right? That's why it was like
It wasn't great weather.
wasn't
it wasn't
rainy
great
and
weather,
stuff
yeah.
like that?
Only like 4 or 5.
Yeah. So they got a 72-hole program record at the course, which is the Prairie Dunes in Hutchinson, Kansas. So it seems like all the Big 12 tourneys were in Kansas this past weekend, but broke a record there. And then they also had 3 Sooners in the top 10 overall. So pretty impressive for them. And I'm not sure when their next tournament is, but I think they'll have their regionals upcoming. So I'll check the dates and where that will be played at. Now, another program that we haven't really talked about, OU's men's basketball making some transfer news over the last few weeks. A lot of faces going out, but a lot of new faces coming in. So I wanted to hit on the guys that are coming. One of the guys is Rivaldo Saurier. He is from Oregon, 6'6", 205, averaged 7 points, couple assists, couple rebounds per game. He played all 35 games for Oregon. I don't think he started, but good size guard, good defense. So we need some guys in the building. Javen McCollum, which is the guy that I'm excited about, has a lot of comparisons to Trae Young in his skill, building, assist, rebounds, scoring dynamics. So he played for Siena and he had 13 games of 20 plus. So he'll replace Grant Sherfield, who was a transfer last year who declared for the draft. So that is a much needed position for someone who pretty much scored, 20 plus every night for the Sooners last year. So that is a good transfer for Moser coming in. Another one we got was John Hughley from Pittsburgh. This man is a behemoth. This is if Patrick put on a bunch of weight. This guy is 6'9", 240, who averaged 15 and 8 rebounds for the Pittsburgh Panthers. I believe he led the ACC in rebounds per game. That is a huge addition for a team that hasn't had a big guy protect the rim in a long time. So that's a really good add for Moser and this team moving forward, especially without their losses that they've had. They also added assistant coach Armon Gates, who worked 2 years as an assistant at Loyola Chicago. So this is someone that Moser knows really well. Apparently he can recruit and coach at a very high level. So hopefully these additions can maybe jumpstart the program that just hasn't been as good as the expectations when Moser came in, but definitely some good additions as well. But that is it for the Wagan segment, as a lot of other programs have wrapped up.
Love that. Thank you so much, Pat. If you had to put on weight, could you?
Not right now.
No.
No
I'm
way.
trying.
No.
No.
The dude could eat so much and not put on any weight.
I was about to say.
I've probably put on like 3 pounds this year, actually. I've not been.
That's
working
not
out.
weight. What a ridiculous, what a
like
ridiculous
water
even
weight.
thing to say.
Yeah.
That's like overnight for me. Patrick is incapable of putting that weight on. I lived with him, and he would like come into the room, be like, "Man, I'm kind of getting fat," and it's like, Pat, I wish my stomach looked close to what yours looks like. I'm dealing with it right here. I'm putting on 15 freshman pounds. Patrick looks great all the time. It's he doesn't deserve it though. That's the thing.
He's already got the height, and it's just like
right.
Yeah.
Genetically
And you
gifted.
see other people who like they get kind of tall, but they don't have Patrick's great genes, so they still kind of chub out. Pat's just like lean.
You guys just like keep going.
He can casually run like 8 miles.
Yeah, Pat's a big runner as well. All right, let's go ahead and talk some NFL draft stuff real quick. Mark's got a little fun NFL draft talk for us. Do you still have that, Mark, or no? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Let's just real fast. I know we're running short on time, and we have a must watch this week. We have MVPs this week. We got a lot going this week, but I thought it'd be cool to look at a few 7-round NFL draft mocks and just see our OU guys where they might be falling, and maybe talk about them just a little bit. So the first one I'm going to look at, so I'm using Dane Brugler at The Athletic, his 7-rounder. It's got a lot of the guys that we're going to talk about, and I'll mention the guys that he doesn't have. Funny enough, his first Sooner taken at number 51 overall to the Miami Dolphins.
Anton Harrison's got to be.
Is Anton Harrison.
Yeah. I'd love
Really,
it.
that low?
I'd love it if he falls.
So Patrick, that's the thing to me too, because I also looked at mocks from Pro Football Focus and from NFL.com, and both of them had him going quite a bit higher. I think that whenever the run on tackles goes, it's just going to be where do they have him slotted, right? So maybe it is later, and he's one who falls. Wouldn't that be sick, Mason?
I'd be ecstatic because
does he start? You think?
Yeah, he'll start at right tackle. He's got
That's
the bigger size than the Dolphins' current starting right tackle. He'd start 100%. I'd be ecstatic if the Dolphins took him. If he falls there, I hope they take him. I'm scared the Dolphins are going to get rid of that 2nd-round pick though to try to go after Dalvin Cook. So that's
dude, you're not trading a 2nd-round pick for Dalvin Cook. Don't worry. You might trade like a 6th. You might trade like.
I will take your 2nd round.
Contract wise, yeah.
All right, sorry, this isn't Dolphins talk. Sorry, my bad.
No, that's okay. I love it. So moving on, the next guy that Dane has being picked out of OU at 79 overall to the Colts is wide receiver Marvin Mims. What do we think?
I like that. I like
a
that.
lot.
I don't like that team for him because
I don't like
Right.
Colts for him.
Yeah, but
Like, not at all.
I think that
No, but
spot
if you
for
get a-
Marvin makes sense.
If you're going quarterback at 4, or you flip that pick for Lamar or something, Marvin's perfect for a new
Right.
guy.
Well, he's
Right.
perfect for Lamar. I'm still concerned about all the quarterbacks in this draft class.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. What Colts have 4 right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So who are they going to end up with?
Will
The
Levis.
reports are they like
Yeah.
Levis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reports are they like
And I
Levis.
just I don't know. I'm not vibing with that. So
I wouldn't vibe with Will Levis either. But,
yeah.
if you're Marvin Mims, you're in the draft, baby.
Hey,
Yeah.
You're gonna
get paid, Marvin. I think that's right to have him as kind of the second pick for OU. I think second or third.
I think it'd be.
it,
I think if
we'll
I saw.
go.
Go ahead.
Sorry, you go.
I saw some random mock draft, and there's a million out there, so don't ask me which one it was. But Matt, I saw the Packers taking a flyer on Marvin Mims. Maybe give Jordan Love some help out there. The Packers, that'd be fun. I'd be okay with that for Marvin. I think that'd be a fun time.
Yeah, fresh start. A lot of other rookies or new year guys or second year guys from the draft last year. So Marvin can definitely probably get some playing time with new quarterback Jordan Love.
That'd be fun.
I feel like he's drop and play on every team. If you've got a quarterback that
Yeah.
needs a little bit of help, bang,
Yeah.
drop Marvin Mims, man. He's going to
For sure.
help you out.
For sure.
Next, Brugler's got at pick 125 to the Chargers, Eric Gray, which is interesting considering that Austin Eckler situation. I mean, the whole thing is, look, Eric is likely not a long-term NFL starter, right?
No.
He's going in whatever 125 is. He's going to be a backup. He's going to play some special teams, but he can catch the football. And that whole offense has been Austin Eckler catching the football, right?
Yeah, it has. It really has.
Not hard to envision him stepping into a role with a team like that demands that their running backs catch the ball some, huh?
Well, and I can't. Who was Eckler's backup? Mason's terrible with names right now, but he got burned. Like, he saw plenty of playing time for the Chargers when Eckler needed a breather, and he was productive.
I think it's Justin Jackson, maybe.
Yeah, I think that
That's
sounds
one of
right.
them.
I think
Yeah,
that
it's one
sounds
of
right.
them, Roundtree or something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, 100%.
Crazy enough, 5 picks later, he's got Wanye Morris going to the Buffalo Bills at 130. Interesting, because I think when Wanye declared, he thought he'd be going a little higher than 130.
All due respect, I think Wanye will be a USFL player like in a year. I just don't think he's him.
Ooh, that's
That was brutal.
I'm
That's
sorry.
brutal.
Look, man,
Jesus.
I'm sorry. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's got the mentality. I don't think he's good enough. Like, you got to be a dog to be an offensive lineman in the NFL and not only be an offensive lineman, but be an offensive lineman with longevity. That ain't him, man. It's not. If you can't handle the mind games Bill Bedenbold plays with you, what makes you think you're going to be able to handle Von Miller or, guys like that? There's no shot. There's just no shot. So that's just where I
It's
stand
a
on Wanye.
common refrain from some OU people that Wanye needs to get to the NFL because when he can really, focus on his craft and not worry about school, that's going to unlock something in him. And maybe, but if your work ethic wasn't that dynamite when you did have the time to work on your craft, now why would we expect it to improve dramatically when it's all you have to do?
Yeah.
Anyway, next we go to at pick 196, the Buccaneers drafting Jalen Redmond. He's another one that I thought earlier in the process, especially when he made a run at the Senior Bowl, it seems like we would see more out of him. And he even tested well.
Yeah.
Still can't break a little higher than this. That's disappointing.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal with, what people, their problem with Jalen is. When I saw that he was declaring, I was ecstatic because I thought he was going to do very well. And especially like you said, after the Senior Bowl and how he tested, I thought he was maybe like a 4th round guy. People tried to take a flyer on him in the 4th round, but guess not.
Doesn't seem like it. Pat, what do you think?
it would be tough to go to the Buccaneers as like an okay defensive guy. Like they have a good defense, so I don't love that for him.
Yeah, at this point in the draft, I don't know how much these guys are going to be playing too much anyway.
Yeah. Sure.
Which brings me to the last one on Brugler's list at pick 225, the Falcons. Hello, drafting tight end Braden Willis. I think I like this. I like this one for the Falcons specifically because Arthur Smith likes all his tight ends and he wants to bring like 3 onto the field at a time. But I also think if Braden doesn't go to a team that wants to use him this way, Braden's not going to be long for the league anyway. He didn't test. All he's got is his tape. And he's going to have to fill out a role as a versatile dude who also plays special teams in order to have any kind of shot.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I really want him to get drafted. I love Braden so much, but like, I just don't know what's going to happen for him. I don't know.
The good thing about
it's going to have to be something like Mark, like you said, like a very, very specific designed like position for him, in my opinion. Like he just can't be slotted into a tight end position for any team in the NFL. He's just he doesn't have that talent.
I think
he's an H-back.
I think the good thing about Braden is even if he's not drafted, he's going to get an undrafted free agent shot and be able to be in training camp with somebody. And maybe he's like one of those hard knocks guys that when he gets in camp, you're just like, we got to find a spot for him on the roster.
Right.
Like, and maybe that's what it is. Matt, Pat.
Yeah. Oh, agreed.
Love it, Matt.
Finally, Brugler did not include Jesus's favorite Sooner, Michael Turk, in his mock draft, but he is draft eligible. Look for him to possibly go sometime in the 7th round. It's going to be fun. Every single round, there's a possibility of an OU guy getting taken. I mean, we're sort of reaching with Anton, but it maybe not, man. If a team just values him more than some of these other guys at tackle, we could be seeing a Sooner in every single round almost. So lots of fun watching our guys this weekend in the draft.
If you're watching this on a Thursday, NFL draft starts tonight. All right, Ryan, give me something to watch.
Okay, I'll make this one quick, guys.
Okay, no spoilers, please. I'm really into the show.
I also like. I'm starting with. I know we joke a lot about me and my like foreign TV shows and like the things that people don't watch, but I would like to note that I am talking about something that has been in like the top 5 of Netflix.
That's why I'm watching
premiered like 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm going mainstream, guys. Like I'm full on. Here I am. I'm a basic bitch. Here we go.
Have you guys seen it? Because I'm watching it.
I haven't even said the name yet.
Okay, no spoilers, please.
No spoilers. Okay, so I want to talk about the Night Agent, which is a 10-episode series on Netflix. And I usually talk about like who stars in this that you would know. There's not really anybody who stars in this that you would know.
The acting's bad.
I would say the acting is not one of the highest points of this television show, and you can tell that the money was spent elsewhere in this show. And overall, like the one person that I do know in this show had a role in The Whale this past year, which Brendan Fraser won an Oscar for. But that is the only person, and no one's gonna know who that is.
Is it the Secret Service agent?
No, it's the chief of staff. She is in The Whale. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so Night Agent, 10 episodes on Netflix. Not really anyone starring. So the plot here is while monitoring an emergency line, an FBI agent answers a call. Like basically an emergency call comes in and he answers it. And everything that happens from there sets off this like deadly conspiracy into the White House, that there is like a mole in the White House and there is like a threat to multiple people and the country itself. And he has to work with like this hacker person that is also his love interest throughout the entire show to figure out like how to stop this potential attack or potential issues coming through. So that's like overall the plot. I'm going to start with like the good here. I really think this is a great binge TV show. So
Awesome
I wouldn't say the quality of this show is particularly high. Like it's solid enough. But like the capacity in which it works, like I feel like it does a very, very good job about like ending one episode on a cliffhanger to roll right into the next episode. And like it's very easy to binge that way. It's very easy to just be like, oh yeah, I'll watch another episode because this is interesting. I think that the plot is overall pretty decent. I think toward the end, and I'll talk about this in like kind of the barrier to entry. I think toward the end it gets a little ridiculous, but if you like, it's got some cool twists, it's got some cool turns. Like all of us have watched a million political TV shows probably, and this is definitely not the best one, but it's also not the worst one. So I see it as like, hey, this is a fun thing to throw on and like get involved in it and see what comes out of it. It's very easy watching. It doesn't make you think too much, I don't think. I will say that my barrier to entry here is the plot gets like absurdly ridiculous toward the end. But if you just like roll with it and just be like, okay, this is what it is, like you can get through it and like don't think too much about it. It's still like a fun time and like a fun like experience. But yeah, it's one of those things that's like none of this makes any sense, but you're just watching it anyway. Yeah, so that's mine this week. Pat, anything you want to add? I don't have any. I didn't spoil anything, right? Mason, you've seen
I
it.
went on mute when you said
you didn't
towards
spoil.
the end.
Yeah, you didn't spoil.
You went on mute. You muted me.
You didn't.
Well,
spoil.
when you were like towards the end, I'm not at the end yet.
It wasn't a spoiler.
Oh, I don't. Well, I don't know.
He doesn't know. But yeah, it's a fun show.
It's fun. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
If you're
it's
not
definitely
doing
fun.
anything this
See,
weekend,
this is so funny because the ones I always come in, I'm like, guys, this is like an incredible TV show. You need to watch it. Pat is like, absolutely not. I'm not watching it.
Love
And
that.
then when we're like, yeah, the show's okay. It's fun. It's pretty light. Patrick's like, this is the greatest thing on earth.
Love it.
It's a good.
All right. Matt Gann, PGP MVP of the week time. We'll start with you, Matt Gann. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, Patrick's going to love this one. Patrick said to raise the banter, and I'm raising the banter, baby. My MVP goes to a true football star who's having an unbelievable season. Patrick, you know where I'm going with this. It's Erling Haaland. Dun, 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 dun. Just broke the Premier League record, who is set by Mason Prince's Liverpool Mo Salah. Just broke the record today against number one Arsenal. They're in prime control for the Premier League. He's also going for the record for most goals in all competitions during a calendar year. I think he's going to get it, but he just broke the record for the Premier League. He is, Patrick, I mean this, the best player in the world currently. Haaland, dun, 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 dun. He's my MVP. Thank you so much.
Patrick, rebuttal, and then give your MVP.
I don't need to rebuttal. I mean, now I'm going to rebuttal. Any half decent forward on that City team right now would be scoring that many goals.
Yeah, what happened to Bayern just a couple days ago?
Oh, they're awful. It's great to watch.
Yeah,
I
lost to
love it.
Man
I
City in
love
the
the
Champions
implosion.
League. That's tough.
Anyway,
tough look.
my
Tough look.
MVP of the week. I do think college football was a better place without the transfer portal. But man, has it just been fun to watch this week. 50 people entering the portal at CU Boulder. Just
Wild.
crazy.
Nuts.
It's fun to look. Yeah, Mark, 50 people.
Well, yeah, I'm just thinking let's do the Dion thing another time.
Oh yeah, I'm not getting into the Dion.
Yeah,
I'm just getting
yeah.
the portal. Like, I like it. It's fun to see. It's fun to watch. It's fun to pay attention to.
Okay.
That's
Love
it. Yeah.
Ryan?
Mhm.
Yeah, mine's quick. American Airlines. I usually hate them more than like anything in this world, but they got me to and from Europe with no problems and no delays. So
Wow.
shout out to them.
It's impressive. We were delayed. We were delayed by by Air France, which is an offshoot of Delta. So
Oof.
they screwed us. Okay, Mark.
Yeah, my MVP is feisty Brent Venables pregame at the spring game. So the one quote that really sticks out is the one that has made the social media rounds. Quote, for the naysayers who say spring game attendance doesn't matter, they have a program that doesn't. Close quote.
Yeah, that was good.
That was hot.
No
That's hard.
Fire.
notes at all. That is hot. That's fire. I love to see it. It's the kind of like, hey, we're putting the work in. We know we matter kind of thing that every now and then he gets on the line of going too much with, but I love it so much. I love it so much. Feisty pregame Brent Venables, my MVP.
Love it. My MVP of the week is Sooner. Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks, 38 points against the Boston Celtics on Tuesday night's win in Boston to keep the Hawks alive. Trae Young was absolutely lights out when he needed to be. He was ice Trae in every sense of the word. His deep three with 1.5 seconds left. I knew it was going in as soon as it left his hand. That was just disgusting. It was a great shot. Jaylen Brown just not even marking him and letting him roll the ball up will be an all-time terrible move. That just
Future rocket Jaylen Brown.
That was so bad. I mean, he might be. I mean, who knows? But Trae Young was miraculous. Celtics will win the series. They win it in 6, win it in 7. Doesn't matter. They'll win the series. But Trae Young is a stud, and he deserves a lot of credit because a lot of people wanted to bury him. As soon as Luka Doncic started showing that he was that guy down in Dallas, people want to be like, "Oh, the Hawks took Trae Young. They didn't try to go get Luka Doncic." Yada yada. Well, Trae's pretty damn good. So
Trae's won more playoff series than
one of them
Luka has.
One of them is
Right.
in the playoffs this year, and one of them
Right.
is not. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's Kyrie's fault. I'm just kidding. We won't get into that. All right. Trae Young, my MVP. Let us know down below in the comments if you got an MVP of the week. We read every single comment as always. And that's going to do it. Episode number 68 is a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Trying to hit 1,500 subs. Cost you $0,
Please.
my people. $0. That's all it takes to subscribe to the program, be part of the program. We appreciate it so much. You can follow us on Twitter, Program Guys with the Z, our Instagram, Program Guys with the Z, our Facebook page, Program Guys Podcast, wherever you get your podcast. That you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff. We will see you all next week. Look forward to seeing you. Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing.